There comes a moment in every person's journey when life feels cluttered, heavy, and out of rhythm. We chase progress, yet something deep within whispers that we've drifted from who we were meant to become. The truth is, life will not wait for you to realign yourself. If you don't press the reset button, you will continue to live in patterns that drain your purpose instead of activating it. Resetting your life is not about escaping your past, it's about reclaiming your design. Every invention needs calibration after constant use, and so do you. Your mind must be renewed, your priorities redefined, and your vision refocused. You can't expect divine direction while holding on to distractions. You must pause and ask yourself, what have I become that I was never created to be? A reset begins when you confront the noise that has hijacked your peace. It's when you stop being busy and start being effective. It's when you silence the opinions of others long enough to hear the quiet voice of destiny reminding you of who you truly are. Recognizing when your life is out of alignment with your true purpose is one of the most powerful revelations a person can have. Too often, we move through life driven by routine, expectation, and survival, mistaking movement for progress. We wake up, follow the same patterns, and convince ourselves that as long as we are busy, we are growing. But purpose is not found in motion, it is found in meaning. When you are out of alignment, your spirit senses it long before your mind admits it. You feel unsettled, unfulfilled, and restless, even when everything seems to be going right on the outside. That inner tension is not failure, it is divine correction, urging you to realign your life with what you were created to do. Many people ignore that inner whisper because they fear change. They would rather stay in the comfort of familiarity than step into the uncertainty of destiny. But true purpose does not operate within the limits of comfort. It demands awareness, reflection, and honesty. You must stop and evaluate your life, not by what you have achieved, but by what you have become. Ask yourself, am I living by design or by default? Is my life a reflection of who I truly am, or am I performing roles others have written for me? Alignment begins when you stop pretending and start listening to the voice within that keeps calling you higher. When your life is out of alignment, everything requires extra effort. The wrong relationships drain you, the wrong environment suppresses you, and the wrong goals exhaust you. It's like trying to drive a car with wheels out of balance. No matter how strong the engine is, the ride will never be smooth. The signs are always there: confusion, frustration, lack of peace, and a constant feeling that something is missing. Instead of masking those signs, you must interpret them. They are not punishments, they are indicators pointing you back to purpose. To recognize misalignment, you must become still enough to examine your motives. Why do you do what you do? Who are you trying to please? Are you pursuing success or significance? Many chase success that impresses others but never satisfies the soul. Purpose, on the other hand, gives meaning to every challenge and direction to every decision. When you are aligned, even your pain has purpose, and your setbacks become preparation. Realignment often requires solitude. You cannot hear clarity in constant noise. Step away from the world's pace long enough to reconnect with your source. The process may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. A misaligned life cannot produce peace, no matter how much you achieve. When your thoughts, actions, and desires operate in harmony with your purpose, life begins to flow again. Energy is restored, focus returns, and joy becomes your strength. Alignment is not perfection, it is direction. It's the awareness that you are no longer living reactively but intentionally, guided by a purpose that transcends circumstance. Letting go of distractions and redefining your priorities is the foundation of every personal reset. Life has a way of filling itself with noise, tasks, notifications, obligations, and opinions, all competing for your attention. The more you allow them to occupy your space, the less room there is for clarity and vision. Distractions are not always bad things, sometimes they are good things that have lost their place. They keep you busy but not productive, occupied but not fulfilled. To move forward with purpose, you must learn to separate what is essential from what is merely urgent. The urgent often screams the loudest, but the essential sustains you. Until you learn to silence the unnecessary, your purpose will remain buried beneath the weight of endless activity. Redefining priorities begins with honesty. You cannot adjust what you refuse to acknowledge. Many people claim they want change, yet their time, energy, and focus reveal a different truth. What consumes your attention reveals what you truly value. If your day is spent on things that do not contribute to your growth, then you have traded destiny for distraction. To redefine your priorities, you must evaluate where your energy flows. Every moment you invest is a seed. If it is planted in shallow ground, it will produce shallow results. But when you direct your focus toward what aligns with your purpose, your life becomes fruitful, focused, and fulfilled. Distractions often come disguised as opportunities. Not every open door is meant to be entered, and not every voice is meant to be heard. You must develop the discernment to recognize the difference between a divine calling and a detour. Some people are not assigned to your journey, they are tests of your discipline. You must learn to say no without guilt and walk away without explanation. Protecting your focus is not selfish, it is stewardship. Your purpose deserves your full attention, and anything that competes with that focus must be managed or removed. Redefining priorities also requires you to revisit your values. What truly matters to you? What legacy do you want to leave? When you understand your values, your decisions become simpler because they are guided by principles, not pressure. The problem is that most people drift through life reacting to circumstances instead of leading their own direction. They wake up every day responding to what happens instead of shaping what happens. To reset your life, you must take back control of your focus. Your schedule should reflect your purpose, not your distractions. Letting go is not easy because distractions often feed our need for comfort or validation. But you cannot grow while clinging to what drains you. Every meaningful transformation requires separation from what no longer aligns with your next season. The people, habits, and patterns that once fit may no longer serve your evolution. Redefining priorities means giving yourself permission to outgrow what kept you comfortable but not purposeful. It means simplifying your life until only what matters most remains at the center of your attention. Confronting the noise that clouds your clarity and peace is an act of courage few are willing to take. The world around you is loud, filled with opinions, expectations, comparisons, and endless distractions that constantly pull you away from your center. The greatest battles are often not fought against others but against the noise within and around you. This noise distorts your vision, weakens your confidence, and makes you question the very identity that was once clear to you. When life becomes too noisy, even your purpose can feel distant, and you begin to drift into confusion, frustration, and doubt. To find your peace again, you must be willing to face the noise, not escape it. Noise comes in many forms. It can be the chatter of people who do not understand your path, the weight of expectations you never agreed to carry, or the constant voice of self-criticism that tells you you're not enough. Sometimes it's not external at all, it's internal chaos born from unresolved fears and disappointments. If you don't confront it, it begins to dictate your choices, influence your emotions, and steal your joy. You cannot hear divine direction in a storm of mental clutter. Silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of order. You must create an environment, both within and around you, that allows clarity to return. To confront noise, you must first become aware of it. Most people have become so accustomed to the chaos that they mistake it for normal life. They wake up to noise, work in noise, and sleep in noise, never realizing that peace has become a stranger. You cannot fix what you have accepted as normal. The process begins by acknowledging what has been drowning your focus. It may be a toxic relationship, an overcommitted schedule, or even your attachment to technology and social validation. Every time you choose peace over pressure, you take back authority over your mind and emotions. Once you recognize the sources of your noise, you must establish boundaries. Peace cannot coexist with constant exposure to confusion. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters that protect your energy and focus. Say no to conversations that bring negativity. Limit access to people who feed chaos instead of clarity. Reclaim control over your environment by curating what enters your mind, because whatever you listen to long enough becomes the rhythm of your thoughts. If you feed on noise, you will live in anxiety. If you feed on stillness, you will live in purpose. The reason many people never experience inner peace is because they keep running from silence. Silence forces you to hear yourself, to face what you've ignored, to deal with what you've buried. But that confrontation is the birthplace of clarity. In stillness, truth rises to the surface, direction becomes clearer, and strength begins to return. The peace you seek is not something to be found in the world, it is something to be uncovered within you once the noise is silenced. Releasing what no longer serves your growth or destiny is one of the hardest yet most liberating steps in transforming your life. Human nature clings to familiarity even when it no longer brings fulfillment. We hold on to people, habits, environments, and mindsets that once made sense in a previous season but now hinder progress in the present one. Growth demands separation. You cannot rise while carrying the weight of what was meant to stay behind. Every new level of your life will require a new version of you, and that version cannot emerge if you keep feeding what keeps you stuck. Letting go is not rejection of the past, it is recognition that not everything is meant to go with you into the future. Many people remain stagnant because they confuse loyalty with limitation. They stay attached to relationships that drain them, careers that confine them, and lifestyles that distract them, all because they fear the discomfort of release. But holding on to what no longer fits will suffocate your potential. You cannot expand inside a space that refuses to grow with you. There is a reason seasons change, each one prepares you for the next, but you cannot experience it fully if you refuse to leave the old one behind. Letting go requires faith that what lies ahead is greater than what lies behind. Sometimes what needs to be released is not external but internal. Old thought patterns, limiting beliefs, and self-doubt often imprison the mind long after circumstances have changed. You may have left the situation, but the situation may not have left you. To grow, you must intentionally cleanse your inner world of the residues of past pain and disappointment. The longer you hold on to old wounds, the more you empower them to define your identity. Release does not mean forgetting, it means freeing yourself from the emotional weight that prevents you from moving forward. Healing begins when you stop rehearsing what broke you and start embracing what can build you. Letting go also requires trust. Trust that the void left by release will not destroy you but refine you. Life often removes what you think you need to make space for what you actually require. If you continue to cling to what has expired, you block the arrival of what is destined. Everything that exits your life creates room for something more aligned with your purpose. That's why the process of release is sacred. It's a declaration of faith that your growth matters more than your comfort. There will always be resistance when you decide to let go because your emotions are attached to what your purpose has outgrown. But peace is the confirmation that you made the right choice. The things that once brought excitement may now bring exhaustion, not because they are evil but because they have completed their assignment. Every chapter has an ending, and endings are not failures, they are transitions. Release what no longer serves your destiny so that your hands are free to receive what's meant for your next season. Embracing courage to disconnect from comfort and reset with conviction is a defining moment in the journey of transformation. Comfort is seductive, it offers familiarity, safety, and predictability. It tells you that you've done enough, that where you are is good enough, that the risks ahead are unnecessary. Yet, every time you choose comfort over challenge, you choose stagnation over growth. The truth is, nothing great is ever born in comfort. Every meaningful breakthrough begins when you step into uncertainty with faith and determination. To reset your life, you must be willing to let go of what feels safe and step into what feels uncomfortable, because purpose is always found beyond the borders of ease. Courage is not the absence of fear but the decision to move forward despite it. Many people wait for fear to disappear before they act, not realizing that courage only emerges in the presence of fear. The reset you desire will require you to confront your fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of starting over, and fear of the unknown. But those fears lose their power the moment you stop negotiating with them. Growth demands action. You cannot think your way into transformation, you must walk into it. The longer you delay movement, the stronger the grip of mediocrity becomes. Disconnecting from comfort means separating from the patterns that keep you numb. It means breaking routines that no longer challenge you and stepping away from people who validate your complacency. Sometimes it means leaving environments that celebrate your past achievements but don't support your future potential. Comfort convinces you that peace comes from staying still, but true peace comes from knowing you are where you're meant to be, even if it's uncomfortable. The discomfort of growth is temporary, but the regret of staying the same lasts a lifetime. Conviction is what sustains you when courage is tested. It's the deep inner knowing that you were not created to live a small, predictable life. Conviction anchors you when the process of resetting feels lonely or uncertain. When your emotions waver, conviction reminds you of your why. Without conviction, courage becomes momentary. With it, courage becomes a lifestyle. Resetting your life isn't about spontaneous decisions, it's about intentional choices rooted in purpose. Every time you choose conviction over comfort, you strengthen your character and align your actions with your destiny. The world honors those who have the courage to start again. It is easy to keep doing what you have always done, to stay where it's familiar, to repeat what feels secure. But destiny requires movement. You cannot reach new dimensions of purpose while remaining anchored to old habits. Each act of courage chips away at fear and builds a new level of faith within you. The reset is not about perfection, it's about progression. It's about having the boldness to begin again, even when you don't have all the answers, trusting that clarity comes through movement and strength grows through obedience. Beginning again with renewed vision, discipline, and faith in your purpose is the moment where transformation truly takes root. It is not enough to simply recognize the need for change, you must be willing to rebuild your life with intentionality. A reset is not just a pause, it is a reprogramming of your mindset, your habits, and your direction. Vision gives you focus, discipline gives you structure, and faith gives you endurance. These three forces working together form the foundation of lasting change. When your vision is clear, your decisions become purposeful. When your discipline is firm, your goals become achievable. When your faith is strong, your setbacks become stepping stones. Renewed vision begins with seeing beyond your current reality. Vision allows you to look past what is and imagine what could be. Without vision, life becomes repetitive and reactive. You move through days with no sense of destination, driven by survival instead of significance. But when vision is renewed, energy returns. You begin to wake up with direction instead of distraction. A renewed vision is not about rewriting your entire life, it's about refocusing on what truly matters. It requires you to look inward and ask, what has been placed within me that still needs to be brought to life? Vision reignites passion and restores clarity to a weary heart. Discipline is the bridge between vision and manifestation. It is where many people fall short because they expect results without routine. Discipline is not punishment, it is alignment. It's the daily decision to do what must be done even when motivation fades. To begin again, you must build habits that reinforce your purpose. Small, consistent actions carry more power than grand intentions. Discipline teaches you to be faithful in the unseen so that you can be fruitful in the visible. It shapes your character and strengthens your resilience. Every time you choose consistency over comfort, you move closer to the version of yourself that your vision demands. Faith in your purpose sustains you when results are not immediate. There will be seasons when nothing seems to be working, when progress feels invisible, and when doubts whisper that you made the wrong decision. But faith reminds you that purpose is not built in a day, it is built through days of persistence. Faith is the assurance that the seed you have planted will grow even when the soil looks barren. It keeps you grounded in belief that your journey has meaning, even when the path feels unclear. Faith transforms uncertainty into expectancy and fear into confidence. Beginning again requires you to merge vision, discipline, and faith into one powerful rhythm of living. Vision tells you where to go, discipline shows you how to get there, and faith keeps you moving when the road becomes difficult. It's not about restarting from failure. It's about rising with wisdom. The version of you that emerges from a true reset is stronger, clearer, and more aligned with destiny because you have learned to rebuild from purpose, not pressure.